Hey, what's up guys? Cloud of Truth here, back with some more Battlefield 4 information for you all. And today in this video, I'm going to be covering the known weapons for the support class in Battlefield 4. Now, this weapons list that I'm going to be covering today is based off the Gamescom Germany news and conferences in August 2013. So keep in mind guys that this is obviously subject to change in the coming weeks and months, as the game is not even in a public beta yet. What I'm going to be doing is taking the weapons list that we have now and go look at the one we have for Battlefield 3, talk about weapons that are going to be carrying over from BF3 to BF4, the new weapons in Battlefield 4, as well as the ones that are seen to be left out in BF4 that were in BF3. Now, as being a primary support class player, I feel like I can give my thoughts on these weapons. Not saying that I'm the best support class player or anything like that. That's by no means the case. I just feel like I can give my own thoughts as someone who has played a lot with light machine guns, especially with the M240 Bravo, as it is my favorite weapon in the entire game. Now, let's go ahead and start here with the weapons list, as we have 9 weapons known so far for the support class in the light machine gun category. The ultimax 100, the Type 88 LMG, the LSAT, the PKP Pecheneg, the QBB 95-1, the M240B, the MG4, the M249, and the RPK-12. That's a weapons list of 9, as so far in Battlefield 3, there are 11 support class weapons. So you may be saying, wait, is there going to be less support class weapons in Battlefield 4? Well, most likely not, because as you guys know, we had 2 DLCs in which we got 2 light machine guns for each class, so therefore when you actually look at it, we've only had 7 base LMGs in Battlefield 3, so it's already going to be, at least what appears to be, more just kind of vanilla LMGs in Battlefield 4 that were in BF3. Starting with the Ultimax 100, a new weapon in Battlefield 4. This weapon appears to be one of those more easier to manage LMGs in the game, as it fires at a very slow 590 rounds per minute. So from that, my guess is it's going to be a very, very low recoil light machine gun, and very, very easy to control, and a little bit more accurate, I guess you could say, when it comes to range engagements, as you're not going to have to worry about your recoil bouncing all over the place, so it'll be a little bit easier to stay on target. Moving on to the Type 88, as this weapon seems to have been changed from Battlefield 3 into BF4. In Battlefield 3, the Type 88, in my opinion, was one of the worst weapons in the entire game. Now, you may have loved it. If you did, hey man, that's great. I'm never one to degrade somebody for using a weapon. I personally just thought it wasn't very good, and that's just from my experiences. So the Type 88 seems to have gotten some buffs in BF4. First of all, its rate of fire has gone up from 650 to 700. Something that's definitely a much needed buff for the Type 88, as it really, to me, didn't have anything to offer that was really that significant and that noteworthy to be used as a light machine gun in BF3. From that, it seems like the Type 88 will be now more of a contender when it comes to medium range engagements, and even into close quarters. Having 700 RPM isn't really that fast, but it's not that slow either. Moving on to the LSAT, another weapon that is very, very similar to the Type 88 in Battlefield 3, and it also has gotten a buff in its rounds per minute, boosting it up, once again, from 650 to 700. Now, from this, the Type 88 and the LSAT are very similar weapons in BF3 in terms of the LMGs. So, are they going to be the same in Battlefield 4? Well, not really sure yet. We'll have to see. The LSAT, though, does have one thing the Type 88 doesn't, and that's for a light machine gun that's belt-fed, pretty darn good hipfire. It'll be interesting to see if that statistic and that trait about the weapon is kept from Battlefield 3 into Battlefield 4. Moving on to the PKP Pecheneg next, this weapon was by far a favorite light machine gun among many players in Battlefield 3, and it looks to be very similar in Battlefield 4. Firing at the same RPM of 600, the PKP Pecheneg looks to be a light machine gun that is pretty much versatile and strong overall. Got very high damage, at least is what it appears to be, as well as recoil that is high but definitely manageable. It'll be interesting to see how it compares to one of my favorite LMGs in the game, the M240B, which is making a return in BF4. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Next up, we have the QBB 95-1. The QBB 95, probably one of the most underused LMGs in Battlefield 3, just due to the fact of its stats and overall performance aren't really something that is noteworthy, in my opinion. It's a good LMG, however, it doesn't really stand out among the rest. Certainly, you can put a heavy barrel on it, which makes it a very accurate LMG in terms of its, I guess you could say, relative to the other light machine guns in the game, but it doesn't have one statistic that really just makes it outshine and outperform a lot of the other weapons, considering the fact that the next one on the list fires at the same RPM, and that is the M240 Bravo at 650 rounds per minute. The M240B looks to maintain its flat-out dominance and just beast into Battlefield 4 as it was in BF3. For me, the M240 Bravo is the best light machine gun in the game, hands down. And hopefully it will be that way in Battlefield 4. Now, yeah, that's really biased, and I understand that, but hey, I really enjoy using the weapon, and if you have something else that you think is going to be better, leave a comment down below letting me know why. Up next, we have the MG4, a new weapon into Battlefield 4 that really looks to be a light machine gun that is definitely a contender with another weapon on the list, and that is the M249 Saw. Both these weapons fire at 800 rounds per minute. However, the M249 has a base magazine size of 200 rounds, whereas the MG4 only has a base magazine size of 100. Not sure exactly what this is going to mean in terms of equipping the attachment of extended mags, or if it's going to be an option for the M249, and or if it's not going to be one, but you can do it for others. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on there. But the MG4 overall is a pretty strong and versatile light machine gun that can be definitely used in close quarters, and that 800 RPM will allow you to keep up with high rate of fire weapons such as PDWs and carbines. And finally, we have the RPK-12. Looks to be fairly similar to the RPK-74M that's in BF3. However, it fires at a pretty slow 600 rounds per minute, but it has a magazine size of 60, which is the same size as the RPK with extended mags in BF3. Probably going to be a relatively accurate and low recoil light machine gun that will allow players to really be able to get on target at longer ranges and be able to hit your shots in terms of not having to worry about your recoil flying everywhere, a little bit like the ultimax 100. So that's all the light machine guns from this list that we know up to this point that are going to be in Battlefield 4. However, there are a few that have been left out and possibly may not be in the game, but could return in future DLCs. That is the M27 IAR, the L86A2, the M60, and the MG36. Now, some of these weapons are pretty good light machine guns. Personally, I feel like the M27 IAR and the L86 are definitely good LMGs. Very, very versatile in terms of someone who wants to play support, but be very aggressive, as that 750 RPM and overall much better accuracy than your bigger belt-fed LMGs allows a player to win gunfights against assault rifles if he is more skilled. A weapon like the MG36, it used to be probably the best LMG in the game. Wasn't overpowered, but it was just overall really, really solid back when it first came out with the Back to Karkin DLC. Just had a very large magazine size of 100 rounds, firing at 750 rounds a minute, recoil was controllable, and reload speed was pretty good for that amount of bullets. It'll be interesting to see if that, or even the big old pig, the M60, returns into Battlefield 4, so we can have some true Rambo moments. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of overview of the weapons list we have now for the support class in Battlefield 4. Be sure to leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of this list about the weapons. Do you think they're going to be handling a lot differently? Similarities? Anything like that? I'll love to read your all's comments when it comes to this. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a thumbs up. I would appreciate it very much. Take care. Have a good day.